If a woman is hiding her feelings, she will do these 10 things, psychology tricks. The greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. Idnabez. Have you ever noticed a shift in the way a woman behaves? Perhaps she's suddenly distant, less communicative, or just seems a bit off. While it might seem subtle, these changes are not just coincidences. They're often signs that she's hiding something important, her true feelings. The way she withdraws or alters her interactions may reveal deeper emotions she's reluctant to express. In this video, we'll uncover the 10 psychological signals a woman gives when she's concealing her emotions. By understanding these clues, you'll gain insight into her inner world and develop a stronger connection with her. Stay tuned to learn how these subtle behaviors speak louder than words. 1. She becomes more distant. When a woman is hiding her feelings, one of the first things you'll notice is a shift in her behavior, particularly in the way she distances herself from you. Typically, when a woman feels emotionally vulnerable or overwhelmed, especially by something she's unwilling to confront, she might start withdrawing from the people she feels closest to, and that includes you. This emotional retreat is a natural reaction that allows her to protect herself, creating space between you and her so that she doesn't have to deal with emotions she isn't ready to face. If she was once open about her daily life, shared her experiences with you, or enjoyed deep, meaningful conversations, you may notice a sudden change. The once easy flow of communication is replaced by silence, or at best, brief responses. She might stop talking about work, family, or old friends, topics that once filled your interactions with richness and connection. Instead, she may become quiet and evasive. These subtle shifts in behavior are not signs of disinterest. They are often psychological tricks, signals that she's hiding something from you, not because she doesn't trust you, but because she's trying to manage her own emotional turmoil. The key here is understanding that this distance doesn't equate to a lack of care or affection. Women, especially when faced with intense emotions, often prefer to deal with them privately. Her withdrawal is her way of shielding herself from getting hurt or from expressing something she feels isn't ready to be said. You may wonder why she's holding back, and it's important not to jump to conclusions too quickly. Instead, approach this moment with empathy and patience. Keep in mind that she's likely working through something that feels overwhelming to her, and that retreat is merely her way of coping. This is the moment where your understanding can make all the difference. If you notice these changes in communication, don't pressure her to open up immediately. Allow her the space to process and work through her feelings. This is one of those times where being a high-value man, one who respects her emotional boundaries and provides quiet support, will make her feel safe enough to eventually open up to you. Patience is a crucial tool in navigating the complexities of female psychology, especially when she's feeling overwhelmed by her emotions. Take this time to show her that you're a source of security. Don't push, but remain steady and present. If you truly want to learn how to fall in love with her again, or even grow closer through this period, you need to embrace patience and understanding. Sometimes, emotional distance is a necessary space where healing can begin. By recognizing the psychology tricks that women often employ to hide their feelings, you'll be better equipped to approach the situation in a way that makes her feel heard and supported. Remember, the most effective way to foster deeper intimacy isn't through force or demands, but through patience, empathy, and consistent emotional presence. This is how you can build the foundation for a lasting, meaningful connection. 2. She becomes more busy. If you've noticed that the woman you care about has become busier than usual, it's not just about her work or social calendar filling up. It's often a subtle, psychological strategy she's using to avoid confronting her feelings. When a woman is hiding her emotions, one of the first things she might do is immerse herself in work, projects, or social activities. This isn't just a coincidental uptick in her schedule. It's a conscious or unconscious effort to escape from emotions that she's not ready to face. You've probably heard her say things like, "I have so much work to do," or "I don't have time for myself." These aren't just excuses for missing out on quality time with you, they're signs that something deeper is going on. She might be struggling with relationship issues or internal conflicts, but instead of talking about it, she drowns herself in tasks and meetings. She might even cancel plans you made together, saying something like, I have work, or I need to attend an important meeting. This could make you feel like she's pushing you away, but in reality, she's hiding behind a facade of busyness to protect herself from having to face her emotions. When a woman's schedule is packed to the brim, it may seem like she's just being productive. But behind that busy exterior, there's often a heart that's overwhelmed. She might be avoiding confronting tough feelings about your relationship or other personal struggles. By staying busy, she can avoid thinking about what's bothering her. This behavior is a clear sign that she's struggling internally, but doesn't want to show anyone, not even you, how vulnerable she really feels. You might be tempted to think that she's pulling away because she doesn't care about you, but that's rarely the case. In fact, she might be doing the opposite, using busyness as a shield to protect her emotions. Instead of talking about the issues that are affecting her, she buries herself in work and social obligations, all to avoid facing the emotional conflict she feels inside. And while this might be frustrating for you, it's a reflection of her emotional turmoil, not a lack of interest in you. For you, as a high value man, understanding this behavior is critical. Instead of getting upset or feeling neglected, recognize that her busyness is a mask. She's not avoiding you because she doesn't care, she's avoiding the emotional weight of the situation. Knowing how to handle this will not only make you more attractive to her, but also show her that you can handle the complexity of her emotions with grace. You must be the calm presence that cuts through her busy facade. Don't chase her when she's busy. Instead, be the high value man who understands that sometimes a woman needs space to sort through her emotions. Your masculine energy should shine through when you approach the situation with patience and understanding, not frustration or desperation. In this process, don't overcomplicate things. Be confident enough to give her the space she needs while also showing her that you're here when she's ready to talk. Being able to give her that space without pressuring her, while still maintaining your strength, will make you even more magnetic to her. You'll attract her not by demanding her attention, but by letting her come to you when she's ready, allowing her to feel safe in your presence. You're a high value man, and that means knowing when to give space and when to step in and lead with confidence. Remember, busyness isn't always a sign of disinterest. It's often the mask a woman wears when she's hiding something more profound. So, be patient, be strong, and above all, trust that your masculine energy will bring you closer to her when the time is right. 3. She changes the topic in conversations. This is not a sign of disinterest, but a psychological tactic to avoid confronting her emotions. It often happens when the conversation starts to veer into personal or emotional territory. For instance, when you ask her about your relationship or how she feels about certain situations, she may immediately shift the focus to something neutral or irrelevant. She might say, "Work has been really stressful lately," or "Have you seen the weather today?" rather than directly answering your question. This is not an attempt to dismiss you, nor does it mean she doesn't care. It's a protective mechanism to shield herself from confronting emotions she's not ready to express. She may not feel comfortable sharing how she truly feels because of vulnerability, fear, or uncertainty about the outcome. The psychological reasons behind this behavior are rooted in her attempt to maintain emotional control and avoid the discomfort of facing sensitive issues. When this happens, it's important to understand that it's not about you. It's about her internal emotional landscape, which she might be struggling to navigate. This behavior also reflects something deeper, the complexity of the feminine psyche. Women often feel pressured to maintain emotional composure, and changing the subject can be a form of self-preservation. She might not be ready to open up or perhaps hasn't processed her emotions yet. Understanding this dynamic is a sign of maturity and emotional intelligence. It's essential to approach these situations with patience and understanding. Don't push too hard for answers. Instead, create an environment where she feels safe to open up in her own time. The key here is to remain calm and composed. Stoicism teaches us the importance of emotional resilience, the iron mind that doesn't get rattled by external circumstances. As the ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. This applies to emotional mastery as well. When dealing with these situations, you must stay grounded, not forcing an outcome, but giving space for her to express herself when she is ready. By applying this Old Stoic wisdom, you will gain a deeper understanding of her actions and be better equipped to handle complex emotional dynamics. In relationships, patience is often the truest form of strength. When she avoids revealing her true feelings, don't interpret it as rejection. Rather, understand that it is a manifestation of her internal battle. You, as a man striving for emotional mastery, must learn to navigate these moments with grace. The path to emotional maturity is not about controlling the situation, but about creating the space for honest and open communication. Remember, true strength is not in the ability to dominate, but in the power to remain calm in adversity. This is the core of the Stoic philosophy, maintaining composure regardless of the external circumstances. Whether in relationships or life, you must embody this Stoicism win mentality. Your ability to remain calm in the face of emotional silence will only make you more attractive and powerful in the long run. In moments like this, take a step back and allow the process to unfold naturally. Don't rush her, don't force answers. Instead, offer a steady presence and a quiet assurance that you are there when she is ready to talk. You must embody the strength of someone who has conquered their own emotions, allowing others to do the same in their own time. By mastering this, you can become a man who truly understands the complexities of the people around him, reflecting the iron mind and emotional strength that Stoicism teaches us to cultivate. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more psychological insights. To keep the conversation going, drop a comment below with this affirmation: I am understanding and patient in conversations. Let's continue growing together. 4. She becomes too rational. When a woman is hiding her feelings, one of the most telling signs is when she becomes overly rational, especially in situations that typically call for emotional expression. Instead of letting her emotions take the lead, she may approach a sensitive topic or a disagreement with cold logic and analysis. This shift can feel unsettling because you expect empathy or emotional insight, but instead, you get sharp reasoning that feels detached, almost like she's building a wall around her true feelings. Don't confuse this rationality for indifference. It's not that she doesn't care, but rather that she's intentionally distancing herself from the emotions she's struggling to face. In the heat of an argument, for instance, rather than showing frustration or sadness, she might redirect the conversation with logical arguments, dissecting every point with precision. This might make you feel as though she's emotionally disconnected, like she's trying to win a debate instead of expressing how she truly feels. You might even wonder if she's still interested in the relationship, but what's really happening is that she's using female psychology tricks to avoid letting her vulnerability show. Her rationality isn't a lack of care, it's a defense mechanism. She may feel that exposing her hurt or sadness will only leave her open to more pain, so she resorts to logic as a shield. This behavior isn't an isolated incident either. When a woman hides her emotions, she tends to apply this form of emotional control in other areas of her life as well. Think of it as her trying to gain control over a situation that makes her feel powerless emotionally. It's not about rejecting the relationship or disregarding your feelings. It's her way of protecting herself. When emotions feel overwhelming or unmanageable, using rationality feels like the safest path. However, the more she leans on logic, the less room there is for emotional intimacy, and this can create a significant distance between the two of you. If you find yourself questioning her commitment or wondering whether she still cares, remember that her detachment may actually be her way of coping with feelings she isn't ready to face or express. Female psychology is deeply complex, and when a woman hides her feelings, she often employs various defense mechanisms, including rationality. If you want to deepen your understanding of how to fall in love in a way that is emotionally aware, it's important to recognize that her rational responses don't reflect her lack of emotional connection. They are the result of her internal struggle. The key to navigating this space is patience and empathy, understanding that these moments of logical detachment are often more about self-preservation than emotional disengagement. She may be silently testing the strength of your relationship, trying to gauge how you will respond and whether you can handle the vulnerability she's reluctant to show. You must be patient and compassionate, not rushing to interpret her actions or jump to conclusions. Instead of reacting with frustration or feeling rejected, recognize that she's trying to protect herself from hurt. She might not be able to communicate her emotions clearly yet, but with the right approach, you can create a safe space for her to open up. Being understanding and supportive will help her lower her defenses and start trusting you with her emotions. It's not about fixing the situation, but offering a steady presence that allows her to feel comfortable enough to express what she's truly feeling. The key to understanding this psychological trick lies in recognizing that rationality is not always a lack of emotion. It's often a way to control overwhelming feelings that are too difficult to express. So, if you notice her becoming overly rational, don't assume she's no longer interested or emotionally invested. Instead, understand that she's navigating a complex internal process and could greatly benefit from a partner who listens, supports, and helps her feel safe enough to let her guard down. 5. She stops physical affection. You might notice that she stops hugging, holding hands, or kissing you the way she used to. This is not a random shift, and it's not something that can be ignored. The physical connection between partners is one of the most powerful ways to communicate, and when it starts to fade, something deeper is at play. Physical affection is a tool she uses to express her emotions. It's her way of saying, I care, I'm here for you, or simply, I love you. When a woman begins to withdraw from these simple, intimate gestures, it's not a sign that her feelings have disappeared. It's often a sign that she is trying to protect herself from emotions she's unsure about. Maybe there's something unresolved in the relationship, or maybe she's struggling with her own emotions that she can't quite put into words yet. A woman's instinct to protect herself often involves stepping back physically, keeping her distance to avoid further emotional pain. Think about it. If you used to get a warm hug every time she saw you, but now she's keeping her distance, don't assume she's lost interest. It doesn't mean she doesn't care about you anymore, but that she's working through something internally. And remember, she might not be ready to confront those feelings just yet. This distance isn't about you, it's about her emotional space. When she's feeling overwhelmed, she needs time to sort through her emotions before she can reconnect. Here's the thing you need to understand: this isn't about rejection, it's about preservation. She's protecting herself, not pushing you away. The idea is to stay calm, don't jump to conclusions, and be patient with her. As a high value man, you understand that relationships go through ups and downs, and it's essential to maintain your own masculine energy through these times. Your role is not to chase her physically or emotionally, but to create a safe, non pressuring environment where she can feel comfortable enough to return to you. Attracting a woman in these moments is about showing your strength and emotional stability. You must resist the temptation to overanalyze her behavior and instead focus on being the steady, supportive presence she needs. Show her that you respect her boundaries and are there when she's ready to open up again. Patience, respect, and understanding are your best tools right now. Don't fall into the trap of trying to force affection. This will only push her further away. Instead, take a step back and focus on showing her that you are secure in your emotions and have the maturity to handle difficult moments in relationships. When she sees your calm demeanor, she'll feel more secure in opening up. This is where your masculine energy will shine. Being a high value man means being emotionally intelligent enough to recognize when something deeper is at play and having the strength to allow space for her to deal with her emotions. You must remember that the absence of physical affection is not the end of the relationship. It's merely a sign that she is processing her feelings and needs time to heal. In conclusion, when a woman stops physical affection, don't assume it's over. It's a sign she's shielding herself from something unresolved or complicated. Be patient, be understanding, and most importantly, be strong in your own masculine energy. Create a space where she can reconnect when she's ready. Your role is to support, not to push. Give her the time and respect she needs to feel comfortable and safe enough to show affection once again. If you find today's content useful to you, don't forget to share your feelings and lessons with us. Or simply comment, "Very cool." It's a great encouragement for our channel makers. Thank you very much. 6. She becomes more independent. She won't let you see that she needs help, even when she's facing struggles. This doesn't mean she doesn't care about you. Rather, it's her defense mechanism against emotional vulnerability. As the old Stoic wisdom teaches us, the mind becomes stronger through adversity. Women, like men, can adapt and learn to endure emotional pain alone rather than seek help. You might see this in simple actions. She stops asking for your advice when she once relied on you for guidance, or she turns down your offers of support, even when you can see she's clearly struggling. This is her way of maintaining control over her emotions, keeping them hidden beneath the surface so she doesn't risk getting hurt. Understand this. When she becomes more independent, it's not because she doesn't love you, but because she's fighting an internal battle. She may feel emotionally overwhelmed, and in an attempt to protect herself, she chooses to handle everything alone. It's not easy to be vulnerable, and this behavior is her way of coping with difficult feelings without letting anyone in, including you. This approach might seem cold or distant, but it's just a shield, her way of protecting her heart. The Stoic principle of inner strength, exemplified by the iron mind, teaches us that true resilience is built by facing life's struggles head on, without relying on external forces to shape our emotions. Women, too, must cultivate this strength, even in relationships. When she withdraws emotionally, it's often because she is trying to be strong for herself. Instead of reacting with frustration or confusion, remember that this is her form of resilience, her stoicism in action. Don't take it personally, but recognize that her actions come from a place of emotional protection, a way to avoid vulnerability that could make her feel exposed and unguarded. You must be patient, understanding, and strong in your own right. Acknowledge that her need for independence in these moments doesn't mean she doesn't value your role in her life. It just means that she's fighting a battle that she feels she has to face alone. Let her take the time to heal or process her feelings. Don't push her to open up if she's not ready. Instead, give her space while maintaining your emotional strength. This is where the principles of Stoicism win, learning how to maintain your own peace while offering unconditional support without expectation. Just as you would apply Stoic philosophy to your own emotions, understand that she's doing the same, albeit in her own way. Take this opportunity to practice your own resilience. Cultivate your emotional strength and your ability to remain steady when life challenges you. By doing so, you not only embody the iron mind, but you also provide the kind of solid, grounded support she needs. Remember, Stoic wisdom teaches that we cannot control the actions of others, only our responses to them. So, don't react impulsively to her independence. Embrace this challenge as a chance to grow in patience and wisdom. She will return to you when she is ready, but until then, your role is to remain steadfast and unwavering, rooted in the strength of your own character. To win in this situation, you need to remember that it's not about controlling her actions or emotions. It's about mastering your own. This is the true power of Stoic philosophy in relationships, the ability to remain calm, composed, and wise, no matter the storm. Keep your emotions in check. Understand that her need for independence is a sign of strength, not a withdrawal from you, and continue to be the steady force in her life. Let her know through your actions that you will always be there when she's ready to lean on you. This is the path to building an iron mind and a resilient, lasting connection. 7. She changes her communication style. It's subtle, but it's there. If she used to openly share her thoughts, her emotions, her personal life with you, you might suddenly find her becoming distant. Her responses may become short, clipped, and vague. Questions that once would have sparked a long conversation now get brief. Emotionally detached replies like, "Everything's fine," or "Nothing's special." These answers may leave you wondering if something's wrong or if she's simply pulling away. And let me tell you this, if you're seeing this, she's not doing it because she doesn't care about you. It's a psychological trick. She's hiding her true emotions, trying to protect herself from confronting feelings that are too overwhelming for her to share right now. This shift in communication isn't just about you or the relationship, it's about her. The act of becoming quieter, responding with fewer words, and avoiding deeper conversations is her way of protecting her inner world. Think of it as a defense mechanism she instinctively uses to shield herself from vulnerability. But here's the thing, this doesn't mean she doesn't want to communicate. It just means she's not ready to open up about what's truly going on in her heart. You have to understand female psychology to see that when this happens, she's not abandoning you. She's just locking her emotions behind a shield. You must recognize the signs. It's easy to mistake her silence for indifference or disinterest. But let me be clear, this is one of the most common psychology tricks women use when they feel overwhelmed. When she's distancing herself, she's not pushing you away. In fact, this is often a sign that she's grappling with something deep inside, something she might not be ready to confront. It's also a sign that she may feel vulnerable and doesn't want to expose her true feelings until she feels safe or more certain about how to express them. This is a powerful psychological strategy that stems from a place of self-preservation, not a lack of love. So, how should you respond to this shift in her communication? Here's where you need to apply patience and understanding. The key is to show concern without pressuring her. You don't want to push her into revealing her emotions if she's not ready. Instead, respect her need for space while gently reminding her that you're there when she's ready to talk. Be the stable, reassuring presence in her life. She may be hiding her feelings now, but that doesn't mean they'll stay hidden forever. Your ability to handle this situation with grace, without getting frustrated or giving up, will show her that you're someone she can trust to be there for her, no matter what. In conclusion, understanding that a woman might change her communication style when hiding her feelings is crucial in navigating relationships. Female psychology often leads her to retreat into herself when she feels uncertain about opening up, but that doesn't mean she's no longer invested in you or your connection. Instead, it's a sign that she needs time and space to process her emotions. And when that time comes, your patience, concern, and respect for her boundaries will speak volumes. So, take a step back, be patient, and give her the emotional room she needs to eventually share what's been weighing on her heart. In the end, this could strengthen your bond even more than you could have imagined. If you've noticed this change in communication, you're already recognizing the signs. Don't ignore them. Take action to create a deeper connection. Comment below. I will respect her space and be ready when she's ready to share. Let's unlock the power of understanding. 8. She seeks validation from others. When a woman is hiding her feelings, one of the most telling signs is that she begins seeking validation from people outside of your relationship. You might notice that she turns to friends, family, or even coworkers for advice, reassurance, or opinions instead of coming to you directly. This behavior doesn't necessarily mean she's losing trust in you, but it could indicate that she's uncomfortable sharing her deeper emotions with you. Imagine that the woman in your life starts to frequently discuss issues in your relationship with her friends or family. You might hear her bringing up matters that are deeply personal or significant to you both, but she isn't coming to you for clarity or resolution. Instead, she's looking for affirmation or guidance from others, someone who is outside of the situation. When this happens, it's a signal that she's uncertain about how to process or express her emotions in front of you. She might feel vulnerable or worried about how you'll react if she opens up. Don't mistake this behavior for distrust. It's important to understand that seeking validation isn't a rejection of you, it's a reflection of her own internal struggle. When she feels overwhelmed, unsure, or uncertain about the emotions she's harboring, turning to others may feel like a safer option. This isn't necessarily an indication of emotional withdrawal from you. Rather, it's a sign that she may need time and space to process her feelings before she feels confident sharing them. As a high-value man, you must recognize that this behavior isn't about you failing in some way. It's about her needing emotional space to sort through her feelings. You must resist the temptation to jump to conclusions. Instead, focus on understanding and patience. When a woman seeks reassurance from others, It may not be because she no longer values your relationship. Rather, it could be that she doesn't know how to communicate her emotions clearly just yet. That is why it's crucial for you to embody masculine energy. Approach this situation with calmness and empathy. Don't push her into opening up immediately, but instead, provide a safe space for her to feel comfortable when she's ready. Encourage open dialogue by showing her that you value her emotions and that she can trust you to listen, not judge. A woman wants to feel secure with the man she loves, and she will look for the reassurance of a high value man who understands the importance of emotional safety in relationships. The truth is, you must be the kind of man who doesn't shy away from difficult emotional conversations. You need to exhibit the strength and patience to hold space for her feelings, even when she isn't ready to share them yet. Be that calm anchor in the storm that she can rely on when the turbulence of her emotions becomes overwhelming. By doing so, you create an atmosphere of trust and openness where she'll feel more comfortable coming to you for validation in the future instead of seeking it from others. There's another layer to this dynamic that's worth understanding. When she seeks validation from others, it may also signal that she's questioning her own feelings. She might not have all the answers and may need external perspectives to help her process. In these moments, you must not take it personally. Instead, offer your support in a way that encourages her independence while also fostering closeness in your relationship. This balance will allow her to feel like she can rely on you without feeling controlled or pressured. Lastly, if you continue to exhibit confidence in yourself and your ability to handle sensitive topics, she will begin to see you as the type of man who can attract women, including her. Be the man who inspires her to express herself more openly. Remember, emotional honesty doesn't happen overnight. It's a process that requires trust, security, and a deep sense of mutual respect. So, the next time you notice her turning to others for validation, don't rush to fill the silence with assumptions or frustration. Instead, show her the same understanding and strength that will encourage her to turn to you when she's ready to share. Be patient, be supportive, and be the high value man she can depend on. 9. She changes her clothing style. This shift in how she dresses often reflects her inner turmoil or desire to project a certain image, either to hide vulnerability or to create an illusion of confidence. You might notice a significant change where she used to dress casually and comfortably around you, but now spends more time on her appearance, ensuring every detail of her outfit is perfect. This is not just a cosmetic choice, it's a psychological signal that something deeper is at play. She could be trying to shield herself from emotional discomfort or suppress her anxiety by projecting an exterior that looks unshakable. In the world of Stoicism this kind of emotional expression through external appearance is part of a broader pattern we often see, the attempt to control what we can when the uncontrollable inside feels overwhelming. The Old Stoic wisdom tells us that the external world, including how we look, should never dictate our sense of worth. When someone, especially a woman, alters her clothing style to mask her feelings, it's important to remember that beneath the surface, she's still struggling with her internal landscape. You must approach this situation with understanding and empathy, offering your support rather than judgment. If you notice the shift, don't jump to conclusions or assume it's a sign of disinterest or indifference. Instead, recognize that, just as Stoicism teaches us, sometimes people feel the need to strengthen their outer shell when their inner world feels fragile. When we seek control over how we are perceived, it's often because we're trying to navigate the chaos of our emotions, much like the Stoics who trained their minds to stay composed regardless of external disturbances. This is where having an iron mind comes into play. You don't just focus on her outward change, you dig deeper, offering her comfort and a safe space to express her true feelings. As you navigate this situation, let's remember that offering genuine support and space for her to be herself without pressure is the key. Whether she's hiding behind a perfect outfit or dressing down, her clothing is merely a shield. It's not about the fabric or the fit, it's about her need to protect herself emotionally. Help her feel at ease, encourage her to embrace her true self, and you'll find that the relationship will deepen. Be the one who makes her feel safe enough to let down that shield. The change in her clothing style might feel like an enigma, but in the world of Stoicism, we know that external shifts are often reflections of internal battles. So, don't be discouraged or try to force a quick resolution. Instead, offer her the space to breathe, to feel confident again, and to embrace her vulnerability. Just as the Stoics understood that life's toughest challenges could build a stronger mind, this emotional shift could be an opportunity for growth in your relationship. In a world where everyone is looking for the perfect facade, you have the power to be the one who shows her it's okay to be imperfect and still be loved. Through this lens, you must remember that emotional changes are natural, but they don't have to be endured in isolation. Offer her understanding, the stability of your own inner peace, and the encouragement she needs to embrace her true self. That's how, through emotional ups and downs, you will navigate the complexities of love and connection with the strength of an iron mind. 10. She shows increased anxiety or tension. You may notice her becoming irritable, easily upset, or seemingly overwhelmed with worry for no clear reason. This isn't about you or your actions. Rather, it's a reflection of the emotional turmoil she's carrying within. It's a struggle between her inner world and the inability or unwillingness to express it outwardly. Women are naturally intuitive and emotionally aware, so when they suppress their emotions, the result can be a heavy, nervous energy that manifests in subtle but noticeable ways. If she suddenly reacts with frustration to topics she once answered easily or avoids eye contact when discussing certain matters, it's because her emotions are bubbling beneath the surface, waiting for a safe moment to surface. This is where understanding female psychology becomes essential. The tension you see isn't a sign of disinterest or lack of care. Instead, it's often a signal that she's dealing with something she isn't yet ready to face, whether it's uncertainty, fear, or sadness that she's holding on to. When these emotions remain unspoken, they tend to build up and create an internal pressure that makes her anxious. You must understand that the root cause of her behavior isn't about you, it's about her own emotional processing. She might act distant or frustrated, but beneath it all, she could be seeking solace or simply needing time to untangle her own feelings. Psychology tricks often reveal that when emotions are suppressed, they leak out in different ways, and anxiety becomes one of the most common side effects. As her partner or confidant, your role here is to demonstrate patience and understanding. The urge to solve or fix her tension might be strong, but instead of pushing her to open up, show her that you're there for her without expectation. This is where your understanding of her emotional state becomes crucial. Rather than seeing her anxiety as a personal barrier, see it as an invitation for you to be more present and compassionate. Her anxiety isn't an obstacle, it's an opportunity to build a deeper connection. Let her know that she doesn't have to shoulder everything alone. If she's not yet ready to talk, don't take it personally. Instead, create a safe space where she feels emotionally secure enough to share when the time is right. In relationships, the ability to fall in love with someone's vulnerability is a key to deeper intimacy. So, understanding the unspoken signs of anxiety or tension is crucial for deepening your emotional bond. You may not always understand why she's anxious, but you must show her that you're committed to understanding her. This approach will go a long way in solidifying trust. Instead of trying to change her or fix what seems broken, you can build a space for her to heal and open up at her own pace. That's the beauty of emotional intelligence. It allows both partners to navigate through uncertainty with grace. In summary, when you observe a woman showing signs of increased anxiety or tension, it's often a sign that something deeper is at play in her emotional landscape. Instead of reacting with impatience or frustration, you must approach the situation with patience and compassion. Female psychology teaches us that these signs don't always indicate a problem between the two of you, but rather a moment of emotional turmoil that requires time and understanding to resolve. Remember, you must show support, not pressure, and be ready to embrace her feelings when she's ready to share them. That's how emotional bonds grow stronger and how love deepens over time. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you found these insights on recognizing when a woman is hiding her feelings helpful. Remember, human emotions can be complex. And it's important not to rush to conclusions based on a single moment or action. If you notice these signs, be patient, listen carefully, and offer your support without forcing her to open up until she's ready. It's all about understanding, respect, and building a deeper connection. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with friends, and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content. And of course, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below with any questions or reflections you might have. We're here to help you navigate the emotional side of relationships. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.